Morning, everyone.
Morning, Joe.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's raining quite a lot here, so I hope my network will be stable throughout the class.
That's all my prayer too, because this side of Gulos is raining heavily.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to continue with Node. So let me see. Who can give us a brief recap of what we covered yesterday? Just one and a half minutes. Anyone? Okay, I'm going to select someone randomly. Let me see. Diana, can you give us a brief recap of what we covered yesterday? Anyone can feel free to help if they feel like.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So yesterday we covered the basic structure, the centralized structure for servers. And we talked about a server being a computer where the software capable of responding to requests. A computer with software that is capable of responding to requests from a client. And a client can be a computer that is a client, but a computer that has a browser, and the computer can be a client, it can be a server, it can also be a database. So when it's a server, that means the server is hosted locally on the computer. So our client is also a computer that has software that's capable of making a request to a server. So the client makes a request to a server, and then the server responds to the request. Yeah, that's the recap I have.
Thank you very much. And yes, that's what we covered yesterday. So today we are going to continue with Node or Node.js. And today we are going to be more into the practical bit of it, okay? We are going to focus more on the practical bit of Node. We are going to do our first app, but also it's going to first need to understand what Node is. Give me a minute, just 1 minute. Okay, apologies about that. So as I said, like Diana has already pointed out in the recap, yesterday we looked at servers. We looked at a very simple server structure involving a client, a server, and a database. So today we are going to continue, and we are going to go into the more practical bit of our module. Okay, just a minute. Yes. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Good. So today we are going into the more practical bit of our module. But first we have to, I want to check, do we all have Node installed on our PCs? And is it working properly?
Yeah, for me, I have.
Is there anyone who doesn't have Node installed on their PC?
I don't have.
What operating system are you using?
Mac.
Okay. How have you been running your JavaScript code?
My JavaScript, I just downloaded it normally.
Pardon?
I just downloaded my JavaScript normally on my Mac.
Okay. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to go to Node.js.org, and then you're going to install Node on your PC, because for what we are going to do, you're going to need Node installed on your PC in order to run the application.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe we all have VS Code? Is there anyone who doesn't have VS Code? Okay. And I also believe we all have Git installed on our machines. So if we are set up to that point, Janat, I'm going to, you could do that in the meantime, so that when we start doing the practical bit, you are ready. So the question is, what is Node.js? Okay, that will be the question that everyone will be asking. Node, which is also Node.js, which is also sometimes just called Node, is a JavaScript runtime that allows you to run JavaScript code outside of the browser. So before Node.js was created, there was no way you could run your JavaScript anywhere else apart from the browser. Because if you look at the history of JavaScript, it was built to improve functionality of websites and browsers, basically. So outside the browser, there's no way you could run your node. And as you have all noticed, you have been running your node without a browser. And you would run your page whereby you type node, and then you put the name of the page that you want to run, okay? So node gives us an environment where we can run JavaScript outside of a browser. So also, Node is built on, based on Google's version 8 of Chrome. Okay. So when, like you were told before, JavaScript was built to improve the functionality of websites. So different browsers cater for different functionalities of JavaScript running in a web page. Though there is a body that synchronizes or standardizes JavaScript for websites, so that you'll find that a website behaves the same way on all browsers. And for browsers that are implemented differently, that's why sometimes you find something works well on a certain browser, but doesn't work well on a different browser, or something looks different on one browser, and then, yeah, for instance, if you opened up something in Chrome, it would look different and different. That means they probably implemented these standards differently. And but as much as possible, they try to use the same standards so that the website looks the same throughout. Okay. So Node can also be used to build a back end or a server side for an application. and it's a full-on standalone language. Okay. So with Node, you can build a server, though you find yourself in a position whereby you're using other packages in order to build this server, in order to make it easier. But you can also build a server with pure Node. In our case, we are going to be using another package called Express in order to build our server, because it simplifies a lot of our work. But yeah, in the end, you find that basically Node is an independent standalone language. Do we have any questions? Yes, Kalonji.
Okay. Used from the start. So you said that it's a runtime version of JavaScript, is it?
It's yes, okay, yeah, basically yes.
So JavaScript is a standalone language, and Node.js is also a standalone language. Is it what you try to mean?
Node, what I would say is it's more of a JavaScript framework. It's more of a JavaScript framework that allows us to, that one creates a runtime environment, but also allows us to build server-side code.
Should I understand it like the way Django is existing in Python?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, something like that. There was another hand up. Okay. Okay, let's continue. So when we talk about Node, we shall use a lot of NPM. So it's good to understand what NPM is. Node Package Manager. It is inbuilt in Node. If you install Node, NPM is inbuilt in Node. So you already have access to NPM. That is the Node Package Manager. So NPM is a registry for libraries that you can be used in Node. So you'll find that when you're building your application, there are other people who build other libraries or who build features that you can just import into your project and use without you having to write the entire feature from scratch. Okay. So for instance, let me say I need to design a website, but I need that website to have sort of, let me say, a calculator. Okay. Or maybe I needed to have a countdown timer. So the first option is for me to code an entire calculator into my website. Or alternatively, someone else could have coded a calculator and then they could have uploaded it to the NPM registry. So you upload the code for that calculator, and then you give it a name, and then the NPM packages it. Basically, it stores it as a unit. So when someone uses NPM, you see the term a lot, NPM install, and then the name, the specific name that I gave to that calculator. Let me say I call it calculator, or maybe I call it JS, calculator JS. So I get that code, I import it into my project, and then I just call the functionality of that calculator to be used without me having to code it from scratch. And you're going to see this practically how it's done. It's much simpler than it sounds when I'm explaining it here. So different people write different libraries which have different functionality, so that it makes coding easy. And as you are studying this, one of the reasons why we studied object-oriented programming, you remember I told you to have reusable code, okay? So when you write reusable code, people can pick it and use it in different places as they need, as compared to if you just write one block of code for the entire application. So that is why we have OOP and why we study OOP, to have reusable code. So we are going to see how we use NPM or Node Package Manager to manage our projects. Do we have any questions? Anyone with a question? Guys, can you hear me? Kenneth, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can hear you.
But no questions in the chat or no hand raised. Yeah.
Yeah, because people are very quiet. Okay. So,
Still processing. Steven,
yes,
I think they are still processing maybe.
I hope so. Okay, we continue. So right now, what I'm going to require of you, I'm going to need someone who would like to share their screen, and then we work on our first application. So the method that I'm going to use here in teaching is sometimes I'm going to use a blog. This is to help you to learn and to understand how to teach yourself, okay? Because a lot of times you find that you will not get everything from class, or you need to learn something. So I want people to know how to use these blogs and get an understanding of how to use the different blogs, tutorials for self-learning, okay? So I need someone a volunteer. Have your VS Code open. I'm going to share a link of what we are going to use. And then we can code our first app. Anyone? Guys, I need a volunteer. Yes, Kalunji. Go ahead and share your screen.
Hello, Stephen.
Yes, please.
Morning.
Morning.
Previously, I tried to download the Node.js, yeah, but
Yes.
the site I went on, it had two versions. The first one was 18 point something, and the other was 19. But the one of 18 was saying me that it's the common one people use, and then the other one was the latest one. So I installed the common one, then 18 point. Did I do something right? Or?
Yes. I would actually encourage you to have normally they call it recommended or stable version. They use one of those two ones. So what normally is, they have a version that is stable, tested, and everything. And then they normally have one which has the latest features, but sometimes you may have bugs because it's still under production. Okay. Generally it will work, but there is a slight risk of it having issues or a bug or something like that. So that one is still under production when they put latest. So when it has been tested and fully tested and stabilized, then they will release it as the recommended version after that. but yeah, 18 is fine.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I have shared a link. Share the link. Can everyone just open that in their? Let everyone just open that in their browser.
Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Also that you see it.
Yeah, I can see it. So we are going to go through that blog, and we are going to have basically we're going to have different people read for us. Okay. And let me just pull up my list here. Okay. Kalibala Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. Let me share the link again. So you are going to read for us. Just go ahead and read for us, and then we continue.
Okay.
First, wait, I unmute. I don't want the background noise to come.
First, okay. Okay, let me start. Hello, hello, world with Express and JavaScript. And that's the title. In this tutorial, we'll build a hello world application with JavaScript, Node, and Express. It can be done with remarkably little amount of code. However, this suite of tools is quite powerful and used at scale by many of the largest websites in the world. Before we start, here are some key terms to define. Node.js allows developers run JavaScript previously only used in browser on the server side to power web applications. The next one is Express is a micro framework for building web applications on top of Node.js. It simplifies the creation of a server and basic routing. MongoDB is a NoSQL database commonly used in Node applications. We don't need it for our Hello World app, but you would for a more complicated app like a blog. Note that this Node and Express you are not limited to just MongoDB, but can use any type of database, including PostgreSQL, MySQL, and other relational databases.
Thank you. First stop there. So if you scroll up a little bit, so we have defined Node. Okay, we understand what Node is and what some of its capabilities. You have already used it when you're doing your JavaScript. And then Express, like I've said, there are packages. Okay, so we could either build our server from scratch and code everything ourselves in Node, but someone wrote sort of a server. Someone already designed a server, which they called Express, okay? So instead of us coding everything from scratch, that is routing and serving pages and running the server, we import this package of Express, which someone already wrote, which has most of the code already for a server, into our application. And then we just call functionality, which is already built in there. Okay, and we are going to see this. So while we're at it, we are going to see how these packages work. So it's one of those packages that we are going to use. It's one of the main packages we are going to use in our applications because it's what we use to build our server instead of building it from scratch. Okay. For the part of MongoDB or databases, we are going to discuss that as we go along. There are many different databases, and then you'll understand what we mean by SQL and NoSQL databases. But in the meantime, you could read about it, but we are not going to cover it now. We are going to cover it at a later stage. Okay. Do we have any questions? Guys, you're quiet. Do we have any questions?
No, we are good.
We continue. I know it's a cold morning, but you can get a cup of tea or something, or wrap yourself in a blanket, and then we study. I'm not saying go back to bed. Okay, so for the installations, apart from Janet, is there any? I don't think there's anyone who doesn't have Node. They are installed on their machine. Janet, have you made progress with that?
Yes, yes, I have.
Have you installed it?
Yes.
Okay, so we are all at par. Okay, good. Since you're here, you read for us from Hello World. Janet?
Yes, okay. Hello world. Now for our Hello World web application, the first step is to pick a directory on your computer to hold our files. The choice is up to you. Pick an easily accessible location. If you are on a Mac, I recommend using a desktop folder. If you don't know what the command line is, I have a short tutorial on it too. It's an indispensable part of modern web development. Here's how to navigate into the desktop and create a new folder from the command line.
Okay, just hold on there. So this is what I would recommend. If you anyway, systems behave differently. I'll start with people who are using Windows because I know that that's probably the majority. Create a folder. You can create this folder anywhere. Well, for him, he recommends desktop because he just wants somewhere where he can easily access it, but create your folder anywhere. On Windows, my advice is this when you're working on projects. Create a folder anywhere, but I would recommend that you don't create your folder on the C drive, okay? So if you're using Windows, you would understand that if you had a software issue or anything and you had to reinstall reinstall Windows or for whatever reason, the C partition would be the one which will be reset, okay? Normally other partitions can remain as they are, but for issues like that, if it crashed or anything, it's a rare incident usually, but it's a C partition which will be affected most. So yes, and if you're working on your project, this is what I would recommend. If you can, put your project on any partition but C. If you're using Mac, anyway, this also depends on how many partitions you have or where you have space. It's just a recommendation, it's not a must. I would recommend the same for Mac. So if you can, don't put your projects or your work on the primary drive. Is that okay?
Should we name the folder?
Yes, you can name the folder anything that you want. You can name it Node project or anything. So Kalunji, I'm going to need you to create a folder. I don't know if you've already done that. I remember seeing you creating a folder.
I did so.
You have already created your folder. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
but I'm using Linux, so I will go to the command to the terminal.
however you can create it. If you can just click and right click and create a folder, that's okay. If you want to use the command line, that's also perfectly fine. Okay. Okay. Let me see who is there. Waguti Warren. Has everyone created a folder? I want to need people to follow along practically. Has everyone created a folder?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I need people to follow along. So create a folder. Waguti Warren?
Yes.
Yes. So read from NPM.
I just want to confirm if you can hear me clearly because it's poor and heavy here. Mic.
Yes, I can.
Okay. NPM is the package manager used by Node.js applications. It contains many modules and we'll use it extensively, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Fortunately, when we installed Node in the previous chapter, it automatically also installed the npm command line client, which we'll use throughout this book. To configure a new Node project, use a file called package.json, which will manage all our dependencies. To configure a new Node project, run the command npm init.
Okay.
Continue.
Let's first stop there for a moment. So for our project to be recognized as a Node project, we run that command. Basically, we initialize that folder that we have created as a Node project folder. So when we do that, then we can access the Node, the npm command line client. Basically, we can run npm commands in that folder and it will recognize them. So npm init is basically we're initializing. Init is short for initialize, okay? So when we initialize our folder as an npm project, that's when we can start using npm commands. There are different commands, as you will see, like installing, start, and all those other commands. So what we are going to do at this point, I'm going to need you to go to the folder that you created. Okay. You are going to, I want you to open that folder in VS Code. Just run the, just go open the command line again. Okay, is it that folder?
Yeah, it's this folder in VS Code and this also in the command line. This is the folder.
Okay, cool. Let's go to VS Code.
Okay.
So close that page, close the welcome page. So normally what I do is I use the integrated VS Code. I usually use the integrated VS Code terminal so that we don't keep going back and forth between windows. So just open up your terminal. Okay, drag your terminal down. There. So in your terminal, just type npm init. Okay, run that.
Init.
Yeah. So normally they're going to ask you a couple of questions. And this is just to give some names for your project, okay? So you're going to find that one of the things they are going to ask you is what is the name that you want to give your project? So if you don't give it any name, it will use node files as the name of your project. It will use the folder name as the name of your project. So you can either give it a name or you can say continue. Okay. So that is version 1, enter. So if you have a description for your project, you can put it there. Maybe you can say something like, yeah, anything you want, whatever describes your project, okay? Enter. So it asks you what is the entry point, basically what is going to be the primary file of your project. So it's suggesting index.js, but you put app.js. So our entry file is going to be app.js, okay? Just press enter. We are not going to be doing tests. We haven't yet set up a Git repository, so just press enter to leave it blank. Those could be keywords in case someone, or like search purposes on GitHub or something like that. So just press enter and skip that. Author, you could put there your name because you're the author. You could put there, okay. Yes, Janet.
Could you go back to npm when we started, because you started breaking on my side?
Oh, sorry. So what we did, we ran the command npm init, okay? And then it started asking the different questions about the project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we together? Have you run that?
Yes.
So it's going to ask you the different questions that you're getting there, the name of the package, version, description, entry point. For entry point, we have used app.js.
Then
Okay.
package name?
Package name, you can give it any name. In this case, for him, he has given it UFarm, but you can give it any name that, you can just give it the name of your project. You can give it any name that you want.
Okay. Then about version?
Version, you can just leave it as it is. Just press enter to continue.
Okay, description.
You can decide to give it a description. For him, he has said our project, but if you don't want, you can still leave it empty. Most of these things as you'll see, you can edit them afterwards.
Okay, then entry point.
Entry point, put app.js. Index.js is also okay, but let's use app.js.
Okay.
Just command, just leave it blank, go to empty. Git repository, we haven't yet initialized it as a Git repository, so just press enter to continue. Keywords you can skip. Author, you can put your name. Guys, are we all together? Do we have any questions? I want us to move together. Anyone having any challenges?
On entry point, you said you put app.js.
Yes. Normally that entry point, it can be any name, but for learning purposes, I would prefer us to have the same name so that when we are using the terms, we all know exactly which file I'm talking about for learning purposes, but it can be any name.
Because it showed us index.js. So we add the app.js.
Yes, that's what it's suggesting. It's suggesting index.js, but for us, we want app.js.
app.js.
Yes. Guys, are we all together?
License.
license, just leave it as it is. So Kalunji, you can just press enter. Yeah, so then it gives you that, it shows you if it's okay, you say yes. If you say no, then it will take you through the process again so that you change whatever you want to change. Okay. Guys, are we all there?
So we press yes, yeah?
Yeah, press yes, press enter.
We type yes.
Press enter. It's already suggesting yes, so you press enter.
Okay.
Unless you want to change, then that's when you type no.
Okay.
Guys, are we all together up to this point?
No, good morning.
Morning.
I'm late, I'm sorry.
Okay. So what point are you?
I'm at 0, that's the truth. I've just joined.
Okay, so
I couldn't, as I was moving, rain anyway, it's rain as I'm sorry.
okay.
Yes, David.
Yes,
Hello?
please. Yes, Richard.
Should I think that once, because for me right now I'm using a phone, but I have my PC aside due to power shortage, I don't have access to internet on my PC. I think at the moment I try to initialize those commands cannot run without internet on the PC.
Actually, you can run this without internet. At this point, we don't need internet to run this because it's you already installed Node, which already has this inbuilt. So you can initialize without internet. But where we are going, you probably need internet.
I installed Node by the time when I didn't have internet. I don't know whether VS Code hasn't recognized it, because when I try to type PNM in it brings other commands which are in the red color as if it is an alarm saying that PNM, the term PNM is not recognized as the name of SMD rate function script files.
Okay, I think I understand what is happening. You installed Node, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so what is happening is probably Node is not registered in your, are you using Windows?
Yes.
Node is not registered in your system variables.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so
yes.
Let me do this. Slide. What you are going to do is you are going to, let me share the link again of the because we're using an approach whereby we are using a blog. Okay. So we are following that blog to create. This is to help people understand, especially for people who are just starting out, because there's a lot of self-study involved in software engineering. There's a lot, and there's only so much we can cover in class. So I'll also be giving you reference materials to look at in your free time. So I want people to understand this approach of using blogs and tutorials and stuff like, and the different resources out there to learn. So the link is there. You can open up that link. You're going to create a folder. Okay. You're going to create a folder. Preferably not on your primary. You can, but I'm just saying it's a suggestion, not on your primary drive. Then after that, you are going to open that in your VS Code. Okay. You're going to open that folder in your VS Code, and you're going to run a command in your terminal, npm init. Okay, I'll upload this video afterwards. I'm also going to upload the one for yesterday. Sorry, I haven't yet done that. And then you could go through, you could see what we have covered before, because we have covered some bit. We can't go back from the start. And then you run npm init. And when you get to that point, then we shall get back to you.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm using Windows.
Okay.
And when you said that I don't, it is not advisable to create a folder on my primary storage. So do I?
Basically, on C, it's not advisable from experience to create it on the C drive. If you have any other drive, use
Which
that.
name should
But
I give
if
the
you only
folder,
have C,
please?
pardon?
Which name should I give the folder?
You can give it any folder of your choice, any name of your choice rather. In this case, for him, he named his node files, but you can give it any name.
So then I open it with the VS Code.
Yes. There was a hand up.
Okay, I was just saying that what Agaba said, he said he ran pnm init instead of npm init. That's why it was saying pnm is not recognizable as a command.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I get it now. Thank you. Agaba. Agaba? Is he there? Richard, Agaba Richard, I don't know if you're talking, but you're muted. So could you rectify that? It is npm. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Okay, I've shared the command in the chat for anyone who needs the command. So guys, are we together up to this point for everyone else? Janet, has it worked?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
I have
good.
a question.
Yes, please.
Do I have to initialize the npm at first time when I'm creating the file, or always when I want to open up the terminal and I want to build something in npm, I have to initialize it again every time?
No, you initialize it once at the beginning when you're creating your project. You initialize the project once.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So like, have you reached that point?
I've
created
the file and opened it with VS Code. But when I look at the person sharing the screen, there's another package. I'm seeing the package that he created a file in the file folder.
We are getting there. When you initialize that file is created automatically.
Okay, so I go to my terminal and then
you run npm init. You have Node installed on your PC, right?
Sorry?
You have Node installed on your PC, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is npm init. I have the command is there in the chat.
Okay, thanks for that.
Okay. So when you do that, it's going to run you through a couple of commands. The one that you want, it's going to ask you different things. When they tell you entry point where you have index.js, just call it up. Just type up.js and press enter. I think that is the critical part. Other parts, you can press enter and you just keep continuing up to the end. Guys, are we all together? Does anyone have a question?
Yes, we are together, but npm init has totally failed.
Can you share your screen?
I've said I'm using a phone. Maybe
Oh, okay.
let me
You
connect.
said NPM has
Using a
failed.
phone because I don't
Have you
yes, I don't have super.
have you seen the command in the chat?
Yes,
Hmm?
yes, the command I have seen it.
What is it telling you?
I think NPM is not recognized as the name of a CMD rate. Then the function, script file, or
Okay, I
operational
think
program.
if
Check
it's
the
not being
spelling of the name.
recognized, probably you need to add it to your environment variables.
So I have a solution. Maybe he can check here. Maybe he types npm version. He says if npm is installed in his machine.
Okay.
If it's not there, then it's not recognized.
Actually, yeah, type npm space dash dash version or npm dash v. What has it given you?
Not recognize it. Let me try to connect to the
okay.
my screen.
Do you have Node? Do
Maybe
Node dash v.
Like this.
Yeah.
Node npm version.
They are telling me that the term node is not recognized as the name of a CMD rate.
But you installed
Let me
Node.
connect and share my screen. Yes, I installed the Node.
Okay.
Let me connect the PC and share my screen.
Yeah, so what we are going to do is you're going to allow me to solve your issue at the end because it may take a bit of time and we have to cover some bit. Okay. So for now, I'll share, as I said, I'll share the recording. So for now, try to pay attention.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so if you have reached this stage, after initializing your folder, you'll find that there's a file that is automatically created. Okay, just open that file. There's that file called package.json. So this file is where the details about your project are stored. And as we go on, you're also going to realize that this is where the dependencies are going to be stored. Okay. So as we install things into our project with packages and libraries, they're stored as dependencies. And then you'll find there are two types of dependencies. Okay. There are app dependencies, okay, or system dependencies, and then we have okay. So there are dependencies that we shall need only when we are developing. So we call them development dependencies. They're just for the development environment, but the app does not really need them in order to do what it's supposed to do. And then there are dependencies that the app needs to run. And you shall see both of them as we keep on developing. So here, you can see the details that we entered when we were initializing our application, the name, version, and all that. So if you want, you can just go in there and you edit any one of those. Okay. You can just go in and edit any one of those. So for now, we can leave it as it is. Okay. And then what we are going to do is we are going to go back to our blog. Okay. So let us scroll down. Okay, so we have all those. Let me look for someone here. Mary, are you there?
Yes, Stephen. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. So,
Am I reading?
scroll scroll up a little bit, Kalunji. Yeah. So no,
Okay.
scroll down. So I've explained that file, the package.json file. So you are going to start from as a final step.
Okay. As a final step, create a new file called index.js, which we'll use to run Node for the first time. You can create this file from the command line using the attach command. Yeah, there's a command there. Then within your text editor, add the following one line of code in the index.js file. So there's the console, hello world, Node is working. Yeah. So following this, now run the file from the command line to see the statement we just looked, which is node index.js, then hello world, Node is working.
Okay,
So down following, yeah, should I continue?
Just stop there for a moment.
Okay.
Thank you. So we are going to go back to our folder and we are going to create a file. Here it's being called index.js, but we are going to create a file called app.js because that's what we defined as our entry point. Okay. So in there, we can just say console.log and then we can put a message that we want to see. And I believe you're already familiar with console.log because you must have used it in JavaScript. Just put in a string. Okay. So if you go down in your terminal and then you type node app.js to run that, I believe you're all familiar with this. Okay. Logging stuff onto the console. Do we have any questions? Is there anyone with a question?
Yes, is it okay to create that file before initializing
the folder?
Yeah.
Well, it can, but it's advised to first initialize and then you create. Has your folder initialized?
No, not really, because I ran the npm and then it was telling me install all the dependencies and upload it, something like that.
Okay, share your screen and we'll look at it quickly.
That's where I am.
Oh, you're supposed to type npm init. Open new command. Go down in your command line to type. Scroll down to the very bottom.
I can type clear and then it clears.
Yeah, type CLS. Okay, so npm init. N pm space in, yeah, t. Enter. Okay, so package name, you can press enter. 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 Put app.js and then press enter.
App, like this, .js.
Yes, .js. Then press enter up to the end. Just keep pressing enter. Enter.
Okay, so I say okay, or I enter.
Enter. Yeah, so it's there. That is it. So your package.json file is there. So go and create the app.js file. Okay, let Kalonji share.
Okay.
So basically we have created our file. That is just to demo that the file and node are working properly. So we are going to go back to our blog so that we can continue. Who was reading? Sarah? Was it, sorry, Mary?
Yes, Steve. Should I continue?
Let's continue.
Okay. Pretty cool, huh? Even better. Let's add a start script to our package.json file so we can automatically start up our application simply. For the moment, this command will simply execute the command node index.js. But however time, we can add more and more complexity here. Within the package.json file, add the line for start under scripts. Make sure not to include a comma at the end, or you will see an error message.
Okay.
It has to keep on scrolling because I can't see what's down.
Okay, so there we are going to go to our package.json, and then we are going to add that line in the scripts, right? You see where I have start, node index.js. So we are going to have start node app.js. So let's go back to our application and then you open your package.json file. So yeah, put a comma there, open quotes. And one thing you have to learn, one thing you have to know, put node app.js. One thing that I would like all of you to know is when you're dealing with these kinds of dictionaries in JSON files, one, always use double quotes, okay? Single quotes will misbehave. They may not do what you want. So always use double quotes. And when you have, for instance, if you look at that line of scripts, the last element, for instance, our last element is start. Put a comma at the end, it will give you an error, okay? So you don't put a comma on the last element in the braces. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we have done that, what you are going to do when you get there, because now you have a start script, to run that file again, if you go in your terminal, you will type npm start, okay? You will no longer use node and then the file name, you just type npm start, and then it will run your file. Guys, are we all together? Are we together up to this point? Does anyone have a question?
Yes, we're together.
Yes, please. Him typing start, then node up. What is he trying to do?
So in the first line, node, that's how where we have node app.js. That is the convention running our node pages, our other JavaScript pages, okay? So what we have done in our package.json on line 8 is we have added a start script. Basically, this script is for starting our application. And you'll notice, for instance, this will help you when you have more pages which are connected to this. So this script allows you to start your application, okay? And not just to run one page. You run the entire application, okay? That's why now we have put a start script for our application. And instead of now using node app.js, we just say npm start. And once you look at that script, which you have put on line 8, start basically calls that script of node app.js. Does it make sense?
So what happens if I forget the node and start? If I forget node and just put app.js?
Then it won't start, because if you want to run a JavaScript file in Node, it is you first of all call on the Node framework to run that page. So if you just put start and then app.js, it won't run.
So the node word is a keyword. Eh?
Yes. Guys, do you have any other questions on this?
I have an error message on my JS code. I don't know what could be.
Yeah, mine says there's an error, npm error. Code.
Okay. Jones, go ahead. Share quickly on this. What's the error? First, tell us what's the error you're having before you share.
The error is showing expected comma JSON on line 9.
Yeah, so after in your package.json, probably you see where he has line 7, where you have test.
Test, yes.
At the end of it, did you put a comma before you put the start?
Let me see. Yeah, there is a comma.
And then you see where he has line 9 after the brace. Do you have a comma there also?
Line 9.
Wait, you said unexpected comma?
Unexpected JSON.
Okay, you see at the end of your start, did you put a comma at the end of your start?
End
the
of start.
Script. Is there a comma?
At the end.
Yes.
After JS.
Yes.
I know.
Share your screen and we look at it quickly.
It has been cleared, the problem.
Okay. Who else is having the same issue? Yes, Cardoso. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you come again?
Was that
You're breaking. I can barely hear what you're saying. Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. You're breaking. Edwin, what's the issue?
I was asking about that start. What if you put start, then you say node app? Because node I thought Node reads the app even though you forget the JS.
Put the JS. Sometimes the environments can be funny. Sometimes you can read it, and then if you deploy in a different system, it may misbehave. So put the JS. Isaac?
I stepped
No,
out a
as
little
in,
bit. I just
just read it
wanted
as
to,
it was, Kalonji.
I just wanted to know, like, you entered the start manually because I entered it manually.
Yes, you create it manually. It's not there.
Okay.
You create it manually. You just type it there. You just go in the scripts, put a comma at the end of the test script, and then you write start.
Okay.
Anybody else with a question?
Yes, mine is already given an alarm.
It's giving an
Alarm. Meaning it is, I have an error. When I type
Slide, share your
start,
screen briefly to look at it.
I typed start, but it's already showing red.
Did you type npm start?
Let me try and see. How long is it sharing?
Type npm start. So is this still giving you the error? So like, has it worked out?
Not yet.
Share your screen briefly and then we look at it.
npm start.
Should I take off the screen?
Yeah, let him share and then we look at it quickly.
First, we will need to-
Okay, so on line 8, it's first of all, remove that Node.js, remove it. Open quotes. First, wait, go at the end of line 7 and put a comma. Okay, go to line 8 and open double quotes. No, put back the start. Put that back. Okay, put a space, open double quotes. In there, type node app.js. Node space app.js. Okay, so that is it. So if you go back to your terminal, type npm start.
Should I first clear?
Yeah, you can clear.
That node?
No, npm start.
Space, then start.
Yes. Yeah, so now your application is running properly.
Thank you very much.
Okay, stop sharing. Kalonji, go ahead and share.
Excuse me, let me share a bit. Let me share a bit small.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me share a bit small. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
So this is where I am.
Okay. Just indent your start in a little, just one bit.
Oh.
Okay, so first of all, go at the beginning of line 8 and tab.
Line 8.
Yeah, tab it, just press tab. Go at the end of line 8. At the end of line 8.
Yes.
Remove that comma, enter, and put a closing brace. Closing curly bracket.
Okay. Yes.
Then put a comma. Yeah, that is it. So run npm start. In your terminal, run npm start. Just click in your terminal. Don't close it. npm 1m. No. Remove 1m. Space start. Enter. Yeah, so it's running.
Oh, thank you.
Kalonji. Guys, do we have any questions? Anyone with a question? Is everyone at this point? Are we all together up to this point?
Yeah.
Yes or Tim?
It's in morning.
Morning.
I don't know whether it's possible to do a recap or should I just wait for the recording because power went off some minutes ago and it has just gotten back, so I don't know.
I want to make the recording available as soon as possible. At this point, we have to move. We have about 30 minutes. Okay, let's go back to the blog. Scroll down. Okay, so we have done that. Okay, let me see. Joseph at Juma. Juma, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, can you read for us starting from Express?
Okay. Express is a web application framework for Node. It will make our lives much easier in building our basic functionality. To install Express, we will use wait for it, npm. The command npm install Express.
Okay, continue.
So I continue?
Yes.
Under the hood, Express has been installed in the Node modules folder, where all our external dependencies are placed. It is also listed now at the bottom of the package.json file under dependencies. Then they show us how we can check the Express in the dependencies.
Okay. So
Express is installed, but we need to tell.
Just to bear for a minute. So right now, no, just hold on a bit.
All right.
So right now we are going to install our first dependence. dependency in our application. So basically, someone has already written the code for a server, which they call Express. So what we are going to do is we are going to import, we are going to download into our project that code, and then we shall just be using its functionality. We won't have to code a server from scratch, okay? And you're going to see how this works. So right now, you're going to go back to the application. You're going to go back to the application. You're going to go to the terminal, and then you're going to say npm install Express. Okay. So someone asked at this point when we are doing installations, you are going to need internet. Okay. You're going to need internet. You can't do installations without internet because basically you're downloading from the internet this package. You could stop sharing for a while. I think it would help with the connection for you to install Express. For the rest of the team, is it downloading? Is it installing?
Hello?
Yes, please.
It is npm install.
Yeah, npm install Express.
That's where I am.
Okay. So, okay, that is good. That is good. So after you have installed, you're going to notice another file has been created, package-log.json. Okay. So that file keeps track of the different things in the Node modules, versions, what is required, packages, basically whatever you install, they keep track of it in there. But also if you go now to your package.json, go to your package.json, there are two files, there's package log and then there's just package.json. If you look on line 12, a new dictionary has been created, a new object, dictionary object, line 12, which has dependencies. You see that?
Yes.
So whatever you install using npm is going to be recorded as a dependency. Okay. So now we have installed Express and it has been recorded in your dependencies as they give you the package name and the version of that package. Okay. So if you look at the package, the version you have is 4.18.2. And if you go to the blog, because it was written some time back, you may find that the version is different, which is okay. Okay. The version in the blogs, for him, he has 4.16. You have 4.18. So that is okay. Basically, you have the latest version, which has been installed on in your app. Okay. Is there anyone who has failed to install Express? You stay on the blog.
Steven.
Yes, please.
Okay, mine has installed, but on the problems like in the terminal, there is this reference error showing that unable to load schema from HTTPS JSON schema. So is that will that be an issue? Right now there is nothing wrong, but there's just showing.
No, it won't be an issue for the meantime.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, let's continue. Who was reading?
Okay, just me.
Continue.
So Express is installed, but we need to tell our web app to use it. Let's update index.js for our case, which is app.js. To do that, and delete the previous one line of code in there, and type the following. Constant express is express. Then we declare constant app is equal to
Okay. Thank you. So, Kalonji, just copy those two lines.
So we have both express that refers to the express package.
Hold on a little bit. Just copy that. Let's go back the other side in the app. And then I'll explain those two lines. Go to the app.js.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so remove that and then you paste it there. Okay, so we have those two lines. One, we have, okay, before I go that, open up your Node modules. There's a folder which once you install Express, there's another folder called Node modules. So in there, you have a lot of things that come with Express, okay? So if you scroll down, you'll see a folder called Express. Okay. You have first go back up, they're in alphabetical order. Down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Click on that. So when you see there's a lot of code that is inside of Express. You can explore these folders at your own time. So someone has basically written an entire package which has all that Express bit. Okay. So it's a lot of code. You see some of it contains so many lines of code someone has written for you. But now for you just installing that package, okay, and then you're using it in your app. So you close the Node modules, just collapse them, scroll to the top. Just scroll to the top and then collapse the Node modules. So here what we are doing is on line one, we are creating a variable, okay, and it should be a const so that it doesn't change. And then the package that we have just installed, we require it. In different languages, you may find they use words like import, okay? If you have seen other languages. But here in JavaScript, we are using require, okay? So we are getting that Express that we have installed, and we are now storing it in a variable Express, okay? And then we are calling Express. Remember a function, we call it with parentheses at the end. So we are calling Express and storing it in app, okay? And as we continue, you're going to see how this works. So that is basically what those two lines mean. The first one, we are getting the library which we have installed, and now we are calling the library and storing it in app, okay? So that we can use it. Let's go back to the blog. I think we may need to continue. Who was reading? Continue.
Okay, let's.
So let's start. Okay, let's start from. Yeah, go ahead.
We are setting a variable Express that refers to the Express package.
Juma, just a minute.
Then
Juma, just a minute. You're breaking up, so I'm going to.
Variable
Juma, just a minute. You're breaking up. We can barely hear you. So Thank you. I think I'm going to let someone else read so that we can be at par.
Is
We have a hand from Isaac.
Way to
I don't think Juma can hear me. Sorry, Juma, we can't hear you. So someone else is going to read. Yes, Isaac, your hand is up.
I think we shall get that bit. Can continue.
Isaac?
I just wanted to ask something, but I think we shall get to it later. Let us first continue.
Okay. Let me see. Eugene, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Can you read first, starting from we are setting?
Okay. We are setting a variable express that refers to the express package and then instantiating it in another variable called app. This is the standard way to configure an Express web app. And now let's showcase how powerful Express really is. With only one more line of code, we can spin up a simple server that we can visit in our web browser. Add the following code to use Express's built-in listen methods as follows. Now, if you continue to run...
Continue.
Yeah. Now, if you continue to run npm start on the command line, you'll see our console.log text instead of listening on port 3000. And you can open a web browser to HTTP localhost 3000. That's link.
Okay. Cool. So let's first stop there for a moment. So Kalunji, you just copy that last line of app.listen. So this line of app.listen, it's the line that starts our server. Okay. This is the line that starts our server. And so it tells the server to run, and then also on which port. There are so many ports out there, but you have to tell the server on which exact port it has to run. So let's go back to the app, and then you put that in there. Put some space, put a couple of lines of space there. Okay. So this line, app.listen, tells the server to start running. And inside there, we have a function in there, callback, okay? And this is just to show us or to put something, for us to see something in our console, okay? It doesn't serve a particular purpose to the application, but this is just to show us that our application is running. Normally, if it doesn't show, we can tell that there is an error or something wrong with our application if we don't see that console.log listening on port 3000. So at this point, again, you're going to run npm start in our terminal, okay? And then this is a word of caution. That should always be your last line in your application. It should always be the last line, okay? Because anything that you put under that will not be read. Once the server starts running, anything above that, or rather below that, will not be read. So if you added extra code under that app.listen, it will not work. It will not be recognized. So that line should always be the last line. just go to line 6 and put a comment. This should always be the last line. In your server file, okay? So sometimes this file is called, the entry file. Also, sometimes it's called the server file. So most of the time you hear, I'm going to use mainly, I think, the term server file, okay? You're going to be having many other files, but this is the server file. So that line should always be the last line in your server file. Is that understood, guys?
Yes.
Has everyone understood that?
Yes, we are together.
Okay, good. So with that, you can go to localhost 3000 and then you'll notice that the server is running. You'll have a small error. Just open up a new tab.
Yeah.
Just open up a new tab in the browser. Type localhost port 3000. Okay, enter. Now, you get a response, cannot get that because at the moment we haven't put any pages or routes, okay? That's why it's telling you it can't get that, okay? That is the home route. So, but you can see that your server is running. Otherwise, if it wasn't running, you would have found something like cannot get this page or cannot reach server or something, some error you get normally when you have maybe no internet or something. But our server is already running. And this is what I said. When you go into Express and you check all the different files that people wrote for that package, you see how much code they have written. But for us to spin up our server, we have only 3 lines of code and we already have a running server, okay? So right now, what we are going to do is we are going to go back to our app. Yes, Eugene.
Does that mean that if we didn't install Express, we wouldn't be able to run that?
No, you wouldn't be able to run that if you didn't have Express, because Express is the one which is helping us to set up our server.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
go back to the blog. Come
Steven,
again.
so
Yes,
Steven,
please.
my question was so Express is like it's like the way how we did OOP. It's just like we're just using some functions in Express to make our it abstracts what it's doing under the hood, right?
Yes.
So Express is like some function or something that we're just using to make our work easier, but there's other code that Express is doing under the hood, right? Something
Yes.
like that.
Yes, it is. Okay, as you have said, you go into your node modules, then you look for Express, okay? And then you see all the code that is in there in Express. Okay, or we can look at it very quickly. So go back to your node modules, look at Express. Open up Express, scroll up, go to, there's a lot. So for instance, if you open that first folder of final handlers, scroll down, that one, final handlers, there's a lot, okay? Anyway, let me not get into this right now. There's a lot of code. You go and explore all those different folders. Some of them have hundreds of lines of code of what they're doing. So just close up node modules and then we go to the blog. So I hope you guys understand how you can use some of these resources, even on your.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Okay, my question is like, should I go on?
Go on.
Okay, my question is like, this app, we are initializing, as in this one, we are bringing this express as a function here, not so? And then we assign this express to this one. So so this one we call this function under this application, not so? Is it what I'm saying here? So this function inside here is located in somewhere in the file, in the files in Express. Is it?
No, that function we are just creating it. So what is happening here is line 1, we are importing Express in our application, okay? Because when you say require, and then you put it like that, it means it goes to Node modules and it looks for Express. That is just to bring it into the application, to make it accessible in the application. You get that? Then we instantiate, okay? Or we assign the functionality of Express to app. So because now what the function that we are using here on line 7 is .listen. There is a function in Express which is .listen. You understand that?
Okay. Yeah.
So that is the one we use. Then we say .listen and then we pass in a port where we want to listen for our application. Okay. And then that other console.log, that function is just, it's a custom function that we have built. As I've said, you can even remove it. The server will still run. Okay. But why we put that there is just for us to see something in the console which confirms to us that the server is actually running.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
Steven.
Yes.
For me, my question is, you see that cannot get displayed in the browser of Karungi.
Where? Yeah.
Let's go to where I type, that.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that. Do I have to go live or I just type in direct at the web browser localhost 3000?
Have you run npm start to start your server?
Maybe not yet. I'll give you feedback.
So you do npm start, your server starts running, and then you go to the browser and manually type in localhost port 3000.
Okay, all right.
Yes, Edwin.
I was asking about the port 3000. Should it always be port 3000?
No, it shouldn't always be port 3000. It can be any port. Though there are ports which are already dedicated to different things, okay? For instance, port 80 is already dedicated to HTTP requests, okay? That's the one you use to access the internet. There are also other TCP ports. You could look into the other ports. Normally, I would recommend that you pick something 3000 and above, because most of those ports are free, okay? Below 3000, there are other free ports, but there are other ports which already have dedications, which serve specific things in your operating system, in your connections and stuff like that. So it can be any port. You can change it.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, welcome. Cardoso?
Hello?
Yes, please. Cardoso, do you have a question? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. And wasn't getting.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. When you ask me if I'm hearing you, I hear you. But then after that, I hear nothing.
I think it's my connection.
Sorry, you're breaking. I can't hear you. I don't know if you can put it in the chat. Okay, let's go back to the blog. So we have done that. We have run our application. Scroll down. Okay, scroll down. We have seen that. That's what you get. That we get that because we haven't yet put any routes. Okay, so by default, the default route is just a slash without anything. Okay, local host port 3000 slash. So it hasn't found any route for that, and that is why it was telling you it cannot get that. So what we are going to do now is we are going to add a route that we can go to, or what would be like a page. Okay. So I'm going to call on Florence.
Morning.
Morning.
Sorry, I have a sore throat, but
Okay.
I start with homepage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Routing is a core part of any web application. We need to tell the computer what to do if a user goes to the homepage URL, which is typically referred as the dash. Update the index.js file with the following code to set up a home page. And we are given all that. We are using okay.
Continue.
We are using Express's get method to create our route. We specify that when a visitor hits the home page at the route, dash accept both a request and a response, which by convention are shortened to REQ and RES. Note that these are positional arguments, so you could call them X and Y if you want, and whichever one was first would represent the request object and the second one the response object. But don't do that. It confuses things.
Kalonji, scroll.
On the command line, type Ctrl+C, the Ctrl key and the C key at the same time to quit the server, and then run npm start to start it up again. This time, if you go to https localhost 3000, you will see the response, homepage, hello world.
Okay, scroll up. I want you to copy that code from app.get up to that code in the middle. Just copy that. Thank you. Okay. Put some space under that. I want you to push that line down so that not under any circumstances. Just enter a few times right there. That's okay. Yeah, so we have that. So when you're working with pages, there are methods that we use, okay, in routing. There is get, and then the most common ones are get and post, okay, depending on what the route does. So when you say app.get, now this is another functionality that is written in Express, okay? The routing where you say get. So basically the app that we initialized with Express, we are calling a functionality of get, okay? So when a request, when the browser sends a request to that app, okay, the method that is associated with that route on line core is get. So basically the browser is saying, get me the information on this route, okay? And which is just a slash. So like we said, there's a request and a response. The client makes a request for a resource, and then the server sends back a response. Is that clear? Are we together? So when the client goes to that route, he makes a request. I need a resource on this page or route. And then the server sends back a response or whatever resource is there. If the resource does not exist, it gives you an error, okay? And what happens in this case is we are saying in our response, okay? So that is another, in the response, in the app, we have that function of send. We're saying in our response, send back that statement, that string, okay? Right now we are sending a string, but later on we shall be sending maybe an HTML page. So we are saying when a request is made to this route, okay, send back a response with that. So what you're going to do, you're going to, because we use the start script and we are using a Node, we are running a Node app, that file keeps running continuously, okay? That file keeps running continuously when we say npm start. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to app.js, then you go to your terminal, and then you're going to kill the terminal. You're going to say Control-C. That stops the server. If you're using a Mac, you use Command-C. That stops the server. So why we do this is it's because when you make changes to a running server, the changes are not implemented. It is until you restart the server and it's until you restart the server that the changes are picked up, okay? When you start the server, it compiles all the code and it runs it. So if you make a change, it needs to recompile the new code in order to run it. So at this moment, that is why we have to stop our server. And again, then you run npm start. Yeah, so we restart our server, npm start. Okay. So it's running. You're going to go back to the browser where you have your localhost 3000. Okay, now refresh that. Now you see you're getting back a response. Do we have any questions on that? Anyone with any questions on that?
Yeah, may I have?
Yes, please.
Okay, so here, so this is the response that we are getting from the browser, right?
From the server.
Yeah, from the server. So do we have also to okay, what does this one mean? Okay, send as in send. I thought that it has to be get because we are getting from the server. So I thought that it has to be get. Why are we using send?
Okay, so what happens is this. App.get, the client sends a get request. Okay. So the client is get me this resource on this route, which is a slash. Okay. That is the method. Get me this resource on this route. So after they have sent in their request, so we are like, we need to send back a response from our server. So we are telling our server, respond, res.send, respond by sending back. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Respond by sending back this message to the user, because that message is the resource that is on that route. Homepage, hello world. That is the resource on that route. So the server responds by sending to client that message or that resource.
Yes,
Does
Steve.
it make sense? Yes, please.
I have a question. On mine, it is asking me when I terminated the server. It asked me yes or no.
You can just say yes. Yes, sometimes it's like a confirmation thing. It's not an issue per se.
So there is
Just say
Y
yes and
stroke
press
N.
enter.
There is Y or N.
Put Y, then press enter. Has it terminated?
Yes, so I should start npm start.
Yes.
Steve.
Edwin, go ahead.
Steve, it's Slide.
Just a moment, Slide. Edwin, go ahead.
I was asking, I didn't get your explanation on when you explained the open slash with a slash inside, what it means.
Okay. Okay. So basically, we are going to have another example which is going to make it easier to understand this. I know the plain slash may be a bit funny, but in the next example, you're going to get it. I'm going to explain it better. It will be easier. Just hold on a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Slide.
Yes, Steve. I was saying, when you look at where we have listening on port 3000.
Your volume has gone really down. Come again?
Hello?
Yes, please.
You can hear me, Steve?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I tried to cancel out, but I can't type.
You tried to?
My terminal.
Yes.
Yes.
You tried to? Come again?
Clear the terminal, but it's not even anything.
What did you use to clear?
CLS.
And it's not clearing.
Yes.
Just close it and open a new terminal. Just kill it. Just don't cancel. Just go to that bin thing, close it and open a new one. Yes, Camille.
Steven, can I share my screen for 30 seconds and see something?
Okay, let's do that. Guys, I'm going to ask for 5 extra minutes. Yeah, there have been quite a few questions today. Mary, are you having challenges? Can you share your screen quickly?
Yes, Steve. I'm having challenges with my printouts. Like I've tried using Chrome, it's not showing. The same way Karunji's is showing. When I tried to type in npm start, then it told me that there's errors with the Express module. Then yeah, it just prints out errors actually.
Yeah, but you need to ask quickly. Okay, just let's first fix this. Yes, go ahead.
You say this.
Yes.
I see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, so when I tried to run, yeah.
Come again.
You see this? When I pin the local, so
yes. Type localhost port 3000 and then we see. Oh, do you have another browser? You have too many tabs open, I think. Okay. localhost :: no, go back. Do localhost. At localhost :: 3000. Enter. Is your server running? Go back to your VS Code. Type npm start.
Response send.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know what... Yes?
I killed my terminal. After you telling me to kill my terminal, I killed it. Then when I opened the new terminal, listen, it's showing me reference error. Cannot access the app before initialization.
Just a minute. Camille.
Yes, please.
I don't see what is happening. I'm just seeing like it's just stuck at that point.
So what should I do if I want to look at the other message?
You see, you're missing also code which is supposed to be there in the middle, which is supposed to bring you that message. Okay? You're supposed to be
first
having
message. Remember, we first transferred this, eh?
Oh,
right?
The one on line 9.
Yeah.
It seems your PC is hanging. I think you have too many things running at the same time, so it's just slow. Okay? So you may need to run less things on your PC at the same time, have less browsers. Normally what I would encourage you when you're having class, just only have the programs that you need running, things like Zoom, maybe a browser, VS Code, and stuff like that.
All right, I'll try that. I'll try it.
I don't know. First remove that. I don't know why that message is not.
Okay.
First close that window. Console.log, listen.
I closed the terminal.
No, first leave that. Looks like it's starting. Okay, I don't get why it's not showing.
Okay.
Did you initialize your file? First close the node modules. Close the node modules. I want to see your files.
Okay.
Linda.
Why? Okay, your app looks a bit different. You have that, node modules. Did you rename your files? Okay, see what you're going to do, Camille. Eh?
Yeah.
You're going to start your app from scratch. Somehow it looks, oh, wow.
It's different.
Yeah. I'm not seeing your files. I'm not seeing your package lock. I'm not seeing. It's a bit different. You'll go through the recording and we shall start from there tomorrow. We shall start with you if it hasn't worked out.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
In its file, in its main file, is having Node app instead of app.js.
Okay. Let me see.
I think I don't know how it's set up like that. Okay, guys, we have gone beyond time. And so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to look at mainly people who have issues. I'm not going to teach any more new material. So for those who want, you can drop off. And those who want issues looked at, we are going to do that for like another 10 minutes. Thank you very much. We shall continue. I know someone asked a question about the slash. We are going to start from there tomorrow.
Guys, before you go off, can I pass this?
Go ahead.
Okay. Recently I've made some research and I've found something, a resource that is useful for Windows. Okay, for documentations, for example, Bootstrap, Node.js, everything. So it's offline. So for Windows, you can download it. It's called Velocity. Now for Linux and Mac, it's called Dash, and in Windows and in Linux, it's called DevDocs. So can I share my screen just to show you where to go to get it?
Alternatively, you could share the resource on the Google Classroom.
Okay, but
You
it's
could
for
share a link on the Google
documentations.
Classroom. On that note, I sent out a link for the Google Classroom and would encourage all of you to join the class. Some have already joined. Let me try to look for the link again and share it here before people go. I'll be sharing resources, recordings, and assignments on the classroom. Also, let me share the official email where you guys will be able to get me. So, Camille, just go through the video.
Okay.
And then try to restart the app. You also have the blog. You could go through it and follow the steps.
All right. Anyway, I'm curious because I've done everything. I've been following it. Just surprised that it isn't giving me the result. But I've been following and doing everything.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It looks different because it's not showing all the files it's supposed to be showing.
Or maybe I should go and.
Yes, please.
That place of start, it has app.js.
Let me see. Start.
What?
Line 8.
App.js, yeah.
Yeah.
Not up, yeah. Try running it again, npm start. But even their files I'm not seeing there.
Maybe I should download the new version, the latest version.
No, that shouldn't be the case.
Okay.
In your main file to correct it, it's not node app.js, is node, is app.js.
Oh, line 5. Just make it app.js.
Right.
Wait, I think the thing can be fixed. Well, okay, I get it now. I get where the issue is.
Okay.
I have seen the issue. It's okay. Run that. And then you are going to, when you Ctrl+C.
Ctrl+C.
Yeah. You need to stop the server because you have made changes. It
In
won't
the
pick up on the
terminal?
terminal. Yeah, in the terminal, press Ctrl+C.
I know.
Y,
Yes.
enter.
I got it.
I enter.
Yeah. Press Y and then enter.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I get why your thing looks different. NPM start.
I got it. I know. Yes.
Could also just click in your terminal and then you start typing.
What should I type?
No, someone else was saying that they can't type in their terminal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just taking a bit of time.
Steve, you told
Mary?
me to kill my terminal. I killed it, but you were saying to get back to me.
Yeah, one if at a time. I'm coming.
Okay, this is what sounds good.
So it's running.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're good to go. You have some code there which you have to put in the middle in order to see what is on the browser, but you're good to go.
Okay.
Allow access. Was it Mary? Are you still there?
Yes, Steve, I'm here, but I was following up with his, and mine is also now listening, like it's working. As you were directing him, I was
Okay,
also
cool.
doing the same thing. Yeah.
Cool. Slide. Can you stop sharing?
Right.
Let's look at your terminal, which died.
Sorry, let me.
Camille is still sharing. So.
Sorry,
Camille, stop sharing.
Wait a minute.
First allow access.
Wait. All right. Thank you, Stephen.
Steve.
Yes.
Yes. This is, you told me to come and kill it. So I killed it from here. After that, when I ran the npm start, it is giving me a reference error telling me can't access app before initialization.
So let me look at your package.json.
Look at.
Let me look at your package.json.
Okay. So there.
Scroll up. Okay, what is it saying? Reference error cannot access app
before initialization.
What is this? Go to your app.js. Yeah, I think I know what it means. Scroll up. Issue should be with your line 2. So remove line 1. Delete it. We removed that. Remove line 1 completely. Okay. So pull that up, just delete. Okay. So under line 1, you need a line. There's a line which is missing, which is const up, then initial const up, assign it, express with parentheses at the end. You need to be keen when you're following these blocks to see that you have enter, press enter, const up. So basically what that error means, cannot access app before initialization. That means you're trying to use something, okay, which you haven't yet initialized, which you haven't yet declared. So const app, assign, assignment operator, no, equal sign, space, put the equal sign, space, express, then put parentheses at the end. Brackets, no, brackets, those are braces. Curved brackets, yes. So, no, that will go away. That is okay. You can put a semicolon at the end. Okay, so const up, yeah. I don't know why it's underlining. It scroll down. Okay, go to your terminal and we run it again.
Excuse me, Stephen.
Yes, please.
He has called the const up again down there on Express.
Let me see. Where?
That's why it is underlined.
Down there. Starting from app.listen. You delete the first things.
You see, okay, yeah, okay. So what you need to do, line 18.
Yes.
Move up to, you see where you have the semicolon? Line 18. No, that's a comma.
Here.
Move to the left. Okay, so keep going there. Yeah. Put your cursor there and remove everything before. Backspace. Yeah, so since you have made changes, you need to stop your server and run it again.
Control C.
CLS, type CLS to clear your screen. Then run it. Yeah, so you go and put the code which is supposed to be there in between. Scroll up. Oh, you have it already. Cool. So you're good to go. Okay. Anyone else? I'm going to, I think we should close this class. It's past time. Yes, Richard. Richard, your hand is up. Okay, guys, that is it for today. Have a nice day. I'll post the recordings and please join the Google Classroom.
Thank you so much. Nice day, guys.
Oh, for those who don't have the class link, let me share it. Yes, just a minute.
Okay, I'm back. My network was a bit poor. At the beginning, my commands were not functioning proper. Than you said that you will handle me after the session. So that's why I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me look at that. So that is the class link. I could also share the class code. That's the class link, that's the class code. Okay, yeah, let's look at your commands and then I think that will be the last bit for the day.
I can share my screen so far. Where is my code?
So
now once I type the PM, is it
NPM in it?
Yes, init.
INIT.
There should be this. Yes, there should be this command.
Do node-v. Type in your terminal node-v.
Yes.
Type in your terminal node-v. Node. N-O-D-E.
Yes.
Space -v. So it looks like you don't have Node installed. That means Node is not installed on your PC.
This is my node. But this is my node. This one, when I open the node, they bring me this one.
Okay. I think I know the issue. It may not be added to your environment variables. So just a minute. So what you're going to do,
yes,
you are going to go to your search, your Windows search. At the bottom, there where you have type here to search, bottom left corner.
Bottom left corner. Here.
Yes, you have the search. You have a search. No, not in VS Code. In Windows. This is where you have start.
Yes. What should I type there?
Hold on. So type there environment. Edit system environment variables. You see the one you have at the top?
It's the system.
Click on that. Yeah.
Yes.
So click on environment variables. Down there, you under settings, you have environment variables. Click on that. So just hold on a little bit. Let me get this. Let me get the exact. Just give me a minute. Okay, go to path. You see down on system variables, go to path. Okay.
Okay.
Go to edit. No, go to edit.
That's where I've clicked.
Let me get the process.
Yes.
Have you joined the Google Classroom? Richard.
Have I done what?
Have you joined the Google
Yes.
Classroom?
Not yet.
Okay, so what you're going to do is I've forgotten the exact process, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out, then I'll post on the Google Classroom. Okay, the process of how to add that environment path so that it can be recognized.
Okay.
Because it may take a while.
Maybe I can share this link you have shared so that I can.
Yeah, the link, I've shared the link to the Google Classroom in the chat. Okay, guys, see you there. I know there's another class and I wouldn't want to push too close to it. So settle down and then get ready for your next class. You join the Google Classroom, I'll share there.
Thank you.
The process.